Hello everyone and welcome back to Bean's Budget Brewery. Now today we are talking about how Magic card prices are really weird sometimes, because they just are. The case in point are Loxodon Warhammer and Prying Blade. Now Prying Blade came out in Ixalan, which was about, 5 years ago. It was 2017. Loxodon Warhammer is a really iconic, powerful card from Magic's history, and Prying Blade is just a common from Ixalan. And yet, the common from Ixalan is more expensive than Loxodon Warhammer. And I will now explain why this makes sense. Because Commander is the main driver of the price, we need to look at what these cards do in Commander. Loxodon Warhammer is effectively a 6 mana reusable enchantment. You have to pay 6 mana before it does anything, and even though what it does is pretty good, there are a lot of better things to do for 6 mana in Commander. Just an insane number of things that are just better than giving your creature +3/+0 and lifelink. And then if it gets removed, you can give another creature +3/+0 and lifelink for 3 mana. And not only that, there are a lot of better options for decks that would want a Loxodon Warhammer. And if you're playing a deck that wants to cheat on equip cost, there are a lot of better things to cheat the equip cost of. For example, Prying Blade, which goes in a ton of decks. It goes in decks that have unblockable creatures or flying creatures. It can go in decks that care about treasures. It'll probably go in Pirates decks because people build them like that. And it's generally not going to be a card that people cut, because after you play with it a few times, you start to realize, wow, Prying Blade is actually a good card. You enjoy every time you draw it because you get to use it, whereas Loxodon Warhammer, you really enjoy the times when you actually get to play it, but in a faster game, 6 mana to be able to equip a creature and give it +3/+0 and lifelink and trample does feel really nice, but it's not going to happen as often as being able to use Prying Blade to get like 1 or 2 treasures, which alongside the equipment synergies that your deck probably has, it's going to feel like you got some use out of it. And then we move to cheating on equip costs. Now, Prying Blade is really good for a cheating on equip cost deck, because if you're cheating on equip costs and it only costs 1 mana, you spend 1 mana and you get the equipment and all the effects. But if you're going to try to cheat to equip Loxodon Warhammer, you still have to pay 3 mana for it. And while just 3 mana for +3/+0, lifelink, and trample is pretty good, it's not as good as treasures, because people are starting to realize that treasures are a ritual effect that just breaks Magic's curve, like the curve balance. That's not to say that Loxodon Warhammer isn't good, it just doesn't have a good niche in Commander, and even though a lot of people have it in their decks, no one is buying new copies, and so when it got reprinted recently, it went down to 31 cents, while Prying Blade has steadily crept up to almost 50. And that's why this kind of makes sense. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! That means it's ending.